We have another question from Michael on numerology. This is a two-part question. Both parts are pretty lengthy. So I guess I'll just read what he says here. This is Michael from New Hampshire, and I have a question in regard to the occult practice known as numerology that is becoming all the rage on Twitter and Twitch. Numerology is the study of how numbers interface with and impact our reality as we know it through their energetic influence. Proponents of numerology say that everything in life is tied to numbers, and in those numbers, they impact and imprint certain specific energies onto people, places, things, and events. It is said to be similar to astrology in that way. However, the numerologists claim that the numbers' energies matter even more, give more info, and hold stronger influence than even astrology, both Western and Chinese. A person's date of birth, a country and company, and an item's creation date imparts that energy to that particular thing. Some of the very basics of numerology, according to what can be gleaned from the public information available on Twitter. And then he has a list of numbers from 1 to 9, and then he has 4 other numbers and what they mean. So I could read those. Let's see. Number one,
it is not necessary to read them. It is far, far, far too complex what he is asking. And that this awareness, yes?
There's 4 paragraphs more of this number, of this question, with a part B, which is several paragraphs long as well.
No. This awareness is not prepared to spend hours upon hours upon hours discussing each number, each frequency band, when the answer is actually very simple. And that if Michael wishes to go deeper into the study of numerology, he is certainly encouraged to do so, for it is a very important area of study. But the actual issue at hand here is that all things are of vibration and frequency. And numerology was the way that it could be understood that you can reduce things to a numerological frequency or band or number or series of numbers that have certain qualities that transcend just numbers. This is the backbone of that which is the this awareness is trying to present this in as easy a form as possible. It is the backbone of that which is the vibrational structure of the universe, of the everything and the all. And yet most have absolutely no concept of this, for they are just living in that which is the projection of the frequencies into a situation of, quote, reality that is being experienced by each and every individual. And they're not worried about 1 to 9. They're not worried about 3, 6, 9 sequence, or the binary or the trinary expressions of life and spirit and source, etc., etc., etc. But for those who have a feeling of it, there is an intuitive process that occurs in life for most. A feeling of something for this or that. That is fundamental and basic into the inner being of each individual, from a knowing point that there is more to things than meets the eyes, even blackened eyes. And that as you begin to understand the concept as above, so below, and now that which is the more recent edition of that maxim, by this awareness, as above, so within, as below, below, so without. That the expression of that in numerological terms or frequency terms is that which helps you understand that you come from high vibration as above. That this is that which is within you, percolating within you, resonating with that which is above, reflecting that which is source and spirit, and that it can then be brought down into the physical and expressing itself through that which is the conscious state of that which is, the term this awareness often uses is low self, but it is understood many are starting to find this is not an adequate name for it. The inner child is one, there are many, but in any regard, that this is that which can then be reflected into the physical expression of this third dimensional realm from that which is the inner interface outwards into the reality of experience that you find yourself in, so that you finally understand through the energies of frequencies, you can take that which is of the highest frequency as above, bring it through that which is your inner direction and director of the understanding of such things within yourself, holding it that you can create what you wish and create the frequencies to exhibit themselves in this physical structure, this physical reality, so that you can play, so you can have experiences, so that you can say, look, isn't this wonderful? This has happened, or this is real in my life. And one hopes that it is done with conscious awareness, but it is often not done consciously. There is ignorance, always ignorance. But that there are the many who are studying mathematics now, who are studying the vibrations of gematria and how things can be translated into numbers. And then they can be reduced down to a single digit number, the number sequence from 1 to 9 being of an incredibly important refinement movement of being able to bring things down to a component of a number from either 1 through the sequence to 9 itself, expressing the purity of situations. Now, gematria is being used now quite extensively. It has become popular, but it has always been part of the occult teachings of the mystery schools. For the mystery schools understood that everything had to do with frequency, numbers being an expression of the different frequencies, and how they could figure out the frequency of this or that, this group or that group, this object or that object, by reducing through gematria that which is the name reduced to numbers to present the result that here is a frequency of this object or this person or this group. Perhaps, Michael, you have been following this, as in gematria many are presenting this breaks down to the number 243, just a blind example pulled out of the randomness of everything. 243. And there are other words that also break down to 243. And it is as if the suggestion that these two things have the same number means they are the same thing, and it does not mean that at all. Plus, that is a step along the way. The ultimate purpose would be to break down any number of something into the basic primary number, 1 to 9. So 2, 4, 3 would be 2 and 4, which equals 6, which adds to the 3 to that, which equals 9. So that it is shown that that which is 9, the frequency 9, is contained in this person, in this object, in this event, etc. Now, it is very complex, and as already said, this awareness is not prepared to go into in-depth explanation of all of it. That is for each of you to do to the degree you are interested in doing. But when you understand that you can understand your life better by being able to identify the energetics involved, the frequencies, the numbers, and what they mean, how they can indicate something to you very quickly, that this is at that number 9. 9 is the number of completion of the primary set, an extremely powerful, potent spiritual energy indeed. And so if you are looking at something and you want to know, is this of a spiritual nature, and it comes to be a 9, then you would have your answer immediately. And you could feel good about it immediately, that this is good. This is showing me that this path that I want to take, which has the number 9, when all the other numbers are added up together and broken down into the single number, the single frequency of the spirit and of the divine, the number 9, then you have a new tool at hand, a new way to work things as you make your way through life. That gives you quick and positive reassurance that, yes, this is a good practice here, or this is a good direction to go in. The numbers are right. And yes, you can use numerological books and pamphlets, and the numbers are all defined. 1 means this, and 243 means that, and it is too confusing to keep going on about it. But for those who are interested in numerology and mathematics and frequency and the universal tone and tune of frequency and vibration, then this awareness invites you to seek deeper, to go deeper, to know the sound of your own frequency, to know the sound of your own source spirit. It will be an amazing journey. Now, this awareness knows that it did not perhaps answer Michael's question, his very, very, very complex series of questions. But this awareness would issue a challenge to you, Michael, to look deeper for yourself and see if there's anything specific to it, this study of numerology and frequency and harmonies and disharmonies, etc., that speaks to you, that sings to you. And if you have other questions, perhaps not as complex as that which you sent this time, but simple, to the point, that this awareness would be only too glad to discuss the matter further with you. But that for now, this awareness is complete. It is done. It is so. The frequencies are set. And so it is.
Awareness, I'd like to make a comment to Michael, if I may.
Please, Dee.
If he wants to continue exploring, which I'm sure he does, I would recommend The Divine Science of Numerical Correspondence by Emanuel Swedenborg, which I think is one of the most brilliant books on the subject. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for suggesting this to Michael. This awareness is in complete agreement with you.
Thank you.